All right, we are live. Trying to get my chair to stop squeaking. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chamber Talk with Torrie. Today, I'm thrilled to have Sheri Brannan with the proud owner of Perfect Shades. We got a lot to discuss tonight, or today, I should say, and we're going to talk about custom window treatment projects, beautiful materials she works with, installation options for home and business. That's exciting. And then we are going to celebrate, we're going to kick off the celebration of her third year anniversary of Perfect Shades, which is in July, right?
Yeah, July 3rd.
Great. So let's just, Sheri, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm super excited about this conversation. Let's just jump right in and let's just start with, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how your business got started.
Well, so I have a long background of selling to businesses from the gift industry to the furniture industry and then to the window covering business when I moved here in 2013. And so I was a custom drapery trainer and dealer developer for a division of Hunter Douglas. And so I traveled a lot, Boise, Seattle, and Portland, pretty much each week I was in one of those cities. And so after COVID hit, I decided I did not want to travel anymore. And so I resigned my position, and a friend of mine kind of pushed me in the deep end, my mentor guy out of Spokane, and said, Sheri, you shouldn't, I was going to go to work for somebody else, and he said, Sheri, you shouldn't work for anybody else. Here's your samples. Pick a name, I'll help you get going.
Yes.
And my husband picked my name. I was going to do the Shady Lady. And I thought, well, maybe someday I might want to sell my business when I retire or something like that. I should put something a little bit more neutral. So then my husband suggested that, and I loved it. But what's fun about it is I actually am really a perfectionist, and so it's the perfect name. My guys give me a hard time all the time. It's like, yep, it's perfect shade.
Perfect shades, no matter what. Perfection at all times.
Yes, it's kind of fun. So yeah, and it turns out that's been a pretty good skill set. All the little details involved in window coverings. There's a reason everybody's not in the business, because it's very technical. Yes. And I've had fun. It puts some creativity as well as all that makes you think and check specs and make sure, double check everything. And I don't have a ton of problems. I had more my first year, of course. And so I have a good team, and I'm having a good time, and the community seems to have really needed what I'm doing. And both commercial and residential, I've done about 50% of each, so I can do both types of jobs. That's
perfect. We were sitting here getting ready to start Chamber Talk with Torrie today, and we were talking about customer service and what that means. And what does customer service mean to you in this shade industry that you have started, this business you started?
Well, some of it, to me, the first part of it is I want people to feel comfortable buying from me, and I'm also really careful to articulate what someone's going to get. So there's what they think they might want, and then what their house or their business can do, and do it successfully. And so I would rather have somebody be successful and happy after the fact than just sell them what they want out of the gate, knowing it's not going to work well. So I start there, and then I'm really particular about how what the stack, say, for example, on a drapery is, and do you want it to clear the window and things like that. And then I make sure that I order it so that it's done that way. And I do have problems from time to time, and so I have learned that at first it scared me to death. Stressed me out. And I just decided that people get to know who you are by how you do business, and so I make sure that the jobs are finished nicely no matter what it takes. And I think that people who've done business with me could probably say that that's really accurate, and it seems to have built a good reputation for me. So
I would agree with that. And I remodeled a home here recently, and trying to go online and trying to figure out that whole thing, like what's your measurement, and do you need it, having somebody come in and take those measurements and do that work for me and take that pressure and that headache off is, I think, worth every dollar you spend on having somebody like you and a business like yours to come in and do that. I can't tell you how many I've shipped back or cut wrong or measured wrong. So
oh yeah, it's something else. It really is. It was a learning curve. I didn't know I'd have to be reading specs. I didn't know I'd have to learn all this computer stuff, and oh my God, it's been so much. But it's been a great challenge for me at my age, to jump back in and learn the kinds of things. It's been good for my mind, and I just really love being able to have a nice small business that I can feel good about in our community, and there's definitely a need, and it keeps my creative juices going, which I've always liked about the gift and furniture and accessories business, and then the involvement with customers, and I've always been a salesperson, so really, really like the customer side of it.
Right, wonderful. So what parts come with your business? Do you have actual installers? Are you doing the work installing?
I don't install anything. I can barely I can run the motorization. I don't really know it, because if you don't deal with it on a regular basis, you don't really know how to do all of that stuff. So I have some excellent installers. One guy's been in the industry for 10 years, and he's the guy who was recommended by my mentor. And now I have another guy that I'm getting trained that lives right here in Umatilla County. And he's a young man, and so I'm just paying extra for him to kind of learn how to do this. He's in his 30s, and so we'll see where it goes, because I'm 63, so I mean, you can't work forever, and
No.
I'm kind of thinking about the future of all the work I'm doing now, hopefully being able to hand that off to somebody who would really value that down the road. That's my goal. So not in the next 5 years, say, but I mean, really over the long haul, you need to think about these things. And so I'm excited to be able to, I feel like I'm creating quite a little business that's going to give an opportunity to one or two people along the way that they might not have been able to create on their own. So that's exciting for me.
That giving back. I love that. As that being said, giving back, you guys are part of the Boardman Chamber of Commerce as a member, and you guys are always supporting our events and always participating. You come and volunteer your time, so that's another piece of that giving back, which we greatly appreciate that, and thank you for that partnership that we have. So what, with your major milestone of 3 years, do you got anything to plan to celebrate? What do you think you're going to do?
Well, I just got invited to come to the Boardman parade.
There you go. Exactly. 4th of July. Let's kick off July with a parade, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to do this. I knew that I could do these chats with Torrie and stuff, and I wanted to do something coming into it. Because it is kind of a big deal. 3 years is where people begin to start to know you are here, and
or you're not here.
Yeah, or you're not
here anymore.
Yeah. And as a salesperson, whenever I took on a new product line or something like that in the gift industry, I would go out and find different lines that were not big and turn them into something big. And that was my little strength, and I could spot good products. And then I would build on that. But it would take about 3 years to build it. So I knew that the 3-year mark was kind of a special little sweet spot. And I'm excited that I feel like I finally learned how to get people to give me reviews. And now I have an IT guy starting to help me, so you might see a little bit more on Facebook.
Right.
I have not done any Facebook stuff, even though I have a little website. So
you do have a website.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your website?
GetYourPerfectShade.com.
GetYourPerfectShade.com.
Yeah.
All right. And what can they find on that website?
All kinds of pictures of projects and types of projects that can be done in the window covering business. Some I've done, some are other shots that are things that I can do because I'm still fairly new at this. And just a way to contact me. It's not really a way to buy anything. It's really a little bit more like a more sophisticated business card.
Yep.
But I don't know where it'll go in the future. I doubt if I'll ever really sell from that other than being able to get a better understanding of the kind of products that we can do. I can actually do a 20-foot drapery. I just did a stage drapery. So the Gillum Bigsby, I think is the building out in Hefner. I just did that shade, and it was a challenge to articulate that correctly, and it was 310 inches wide, which is a very big drapery. And it turned out perfect.
So it's like a theater stage. So it actually closes like a theater stage and opens up now. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was fun. I was super careful.
Big velvet.
Oh yeah, it wasn't velvet, but it was. I was super careful to articulate it correctly, and so then the day of, I'm just and it turned out really
That's
good.
awesome.
So
that's awesome. That is a great addition to that building. That building's been a great addition to Hefner and providing that event space that they needed.
And there's really nobody really in the custom drapery business down this way. There are people in Tri-Cities, but very few that understand the things you need to do a drapery correctly for someone who has, say, a view in their home and how to get it off the window and all that type of stuff.
Or the type of window you have, or where you can put an inside mount, outside mount,
yeah.
bug mount,
Oh,
all
yeah,
these things.
quite a deal. There's more to it.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. There's a reason everybody's not in the window covering business.
Exactly,
yeah.
yes. So before we went live, also we were talking about, like, if you have a product in your home already, what is there a service you can provide to that?
Oh yeah. So there's a way to get parts and or repair or replace shades underneath of you have to kind of take your product down basically. There's a label from most of the manufacturers, and I can actually reach out to that vendor and if I have the right information, they'll provide the parts necessary to replace something for a fee. If it's after the warranty, if it's still under warranty, they'll sometimes do it for free. Yeah. And,
just knowing the product, once again, being in the industry, knowing the product,
yeah.
and knowing that. I think I would have just thrown it away and started all over, knowing me.
Sometimes that's the easier, softer way.
Right.
But it can be done, and it's kind of fun that once in a while I'll go into a house or a business and they have this issue. It's a secondary thing for them, but while I'm there, I take it down, I take a look at it, and it happens to be a vendor I work with, and then I can reach out, they send it right to me. It's just a super clean deal. Again, it's where they're at and how long it's been since they've purchased and things like that. But there's things that come up, and people who have had businesses that have sold window coverings in this area are not fabulous at providing the support after the fact, because they've got to drive an hour to get here. I live in Umatilla County, so I have focused on Umatilla and Morrow County to provide that service that's been missing. So it's kind of fun to be able to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, that face-to-face communication, not like talking to somebody that doesn't even know what you are even looking at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's talk about some product and products that you provide. What would be some of your top main vendors, and what are those products that you're looking to provide?
Well, I work with Custom Brands owned by Hunter Douglas. It's to me, it's a little bit better price point than some of the Hunter Douglas products. I'm thinking about opening an account with Hunter directly at the end of this year. Because of some of the growth of my company, but for the most part, I wanted to have something that was modestly priced and high quality with good warranties. So I have Alta Window Fashions, which is part of Custom Brands Group and the greater of Hunter Douglas, and then I work with Norman USA, and Norman has everything from say vertical blinds and faux wood blinds, all the way up to roller shades and motorization and all kinds of stuff. So I can do hardwire projects. I started working about a year or so ago with a company named Draper, and that's been it's spec'd all the time for commercial projects, and they make such a nice product, and it actually has a nice application for residential, so I'm starting to use that, and it's American made. And they only do roller shades, but they do some nice roller shades. And then I just started expanding my relationship with a company called Rowley, because they are also a U.S.-made vendor. And I was using them for drapery rods, and now I find out that they have roller shades and these films that are kind of new that I'm excited, and they're U.S.-made. So with all the tariffs and changes and everything going on worldwide, I thought it would be important to have some products that are made here in the U.S., and so I've been searching some of that out. So I'm working with some of that.
Are the price points looking good?
Yeah, in fact, the U.S.-made companies didn't have price increases.
Oh, there you go. Probably not, huh?
So that was good, yeah. So I already have experienced a little price increases from some of the stuff outside of the U.S., so there is a little bit of it's not huge yet. But I wanted to prepare for those types of things and kind of and just try to support American made as much as I could too. So
yeah, let's talk about this new product you were just talking about. This sounds great. I have a place for it right here in the Sage Center. I think we're gonna look into it and see what it looks like.
Well, I'm super excited. So there's kind of like a cross between a roller shade and a film. It's not really considered a film. So most people think of films. They're kind of like the sunglass material.
The window tint on your window,
yeah.
on your car.
Yeah. And people put them in their homes in certain and commercial applications quite often. Sometimes there's windows that are really, they're called relights, but they're way up high or somewhere that it's just not appropriate to have a roller shade. So it's a film that actually goes right on the window, but it's not really a film, it's fabric. And they have different opacities, somewhat sheer and a little bit more, they don't really do blackout, but they have one that's a little bit more opacity than a sheer. Anyways, they match some of the colors of the roller shades. So I have this project I'm working on now that has the kind of like triangle type top on 4 windows, so they kind of come to a steeple, yeah. And so I'm putting roller shades at a certain level down, and then I'm putting a coordinating screen up above it instead of having to go to a shutter or something like that, because those are really hard shapes to fit. So I'm excited about where the application fits, and it's new. It's from this company Rowley that I just started working with again, and so I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to have a nice application. I don't think it's real expensive, and so if you're not opening and closing the window and you're looking for control to see your computer or something like that, it's actually a pretty good application.
Right, or that out of sight, out of mind, like high window that just sits up there.
And you know,
needs a little bit of something.
Maybe it makes your furniture fade or something like that. You know, it gives a little bit of light control.
Yeah. The things we don't even think of, you know, when you have big giant windows, we all love light in our homes, but it does fade your floors and your furniture over time.
It definitely
I moved a rug the other day and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why people do shades.
Exactly. I think I'm going to have you come out of the house like we discussed. Yes. So you also expand into the commercial space. What does that entail, and what can you offer in the commercial world?
Well, come to find out, I was supposed to have a commercial license from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. Actually, none of my competitors did either, because I asked around. So, but I got an Oregon CCB. I went through the course with, I think it was Blue Mountain Community College or something, and got my CCB in place for Oregon because I wanted to start I've been working with the Plan Center. She's really been so helpful in Hermiston, and really teaching me so much every time I go in. Stacy is a wealth of knowledge. And so I've learned how to read plans, and I wanted to bid on some of these public jobs. And so I have had some success at that. And then I started going into Tri-Cities, so I got my Washington CCB this year. And so, yeah, it's like I want to stay focused on basically the Tri-City area, Umatilla and Morrow County.
Yep.
I do some banks with one of the construction firms I sub for, and so I'm gone as far as Walla Walla, Dayton, places they don't really have a lot of window covering people. And yeah, it's fun. It just figured I didn't plan on doing any of this. I thought I would just do residential. And it turned. In fact, your chamber is the door opened at my first luncheon. I have to tell this story because I think it's hilarious. I hope they don't mind. So I go to the very first Boardman luncheon, and I sat down next to this lady, and then we both got up to have lunch, and my purse was on my chair, and I came back, and the gentleman that runs Head Start was sitting in my chair, and so the penalty was he had to hire me for window coverings. And so he was so sweet. He introduced himself, and I told him what I did, and he asked me where I lived, and he said, "I need your card." He went back to the office and said, "This is our new window covering."
There you go. And they have a lot of buildings.
They do. And they tried me with a little job, and I've done a half a dozen or so jobs for them, and I hope I get to do more. And I just, it's kind of a little bit of a learning process when you start from where I'm at. And I feel like honesty, integrity, and follow through are the key ingredients to get people to want to continue to do business with you.
100%, especially anymore. You just don't ever get that face-to-face interaction with a business anymore when it comes to a product. It's going away, so it's kind of refreshing to have a business like that, right? I love it.
That's one of the things I think that makes selling really easy. If you care about your customer and they have a sense about that, it pays dividends all over the place. Absolutely. People just automatically are willing to work with you on things. So,
yeah, that is just great. I love it. What else? What else is out there?
Oh my gosh!
Did you miss anything?
Not really. The motorization. I think motorization is getting to be a really big deal in the window covering business. Everything's going automated
with the app and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I just did a house the other day. This person's a vet, and so they have all motorization because he's in a wheelchair. So my guy hooked up their Google
Oh,
so
yeah.
I hadn't done that
Google
before.
House or whatever.
Yeah, he was able to get all their windows working for him.
That's
and,
amazing.
You know, so that he could call this out and just
open, close windows all on his own.
Totally cool.
I love that piece of that. Yeah.
I don't know how to use it yet, but
No.
I'm going to have to figure it out.
Gotta figure it out, right?
I did put motorization in my house just so I could begin to learn how to use that stuff and what the, I have timers, so when the sun comes up, my shades open where I like them. In my office, my shades close at a certain time of the day so I can see my computer anytime when I walk in there. And then at night, they all close for privacy. It's totally awesome, really.
That's really cool, though,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it is, and it is more expensive on the front end. But if you think you're gonna be putting window coverings in your house or business, and you're not going to do it again for another 10 years or so, it's worthy of considering. And so I started out my practice of showing people what the price is for motorization and what the price is for non-motorization, so they can make an educated decision on where they want to spend their money. And so far, like last year, 50% of what I did was motorization.
Motorization. Well, you think about it as a resident, and you travel a lot and stuff, and if you have motorization and that's happening automatically in your house, I mean,
it looks like you're home.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it kind of makes it look like someone's at home all the time. Instead of just having blinds closed all the time.
Oh yeah. No, it's really pretty cool. And yeah, I've had people in my house. What is that? It's like, well, those are my shades. That's cool.
Right? I'm selling my product.
Yeah. But eventually, that'll be the norm. In fact, one of the other things we should talk about is the fact that the industry's changed a little bit. So most people are familiar with, especially the entry-level homes, have the clutch. Or they're called cord lock systems.
Oh, yes.
So you have a cord on each side.
Yes.
One tilts, one doesn't. So that is completely gone from the marketplace.
Really?
The federal government changed the laws about a year ago, maybe two. And so that was taken away from the marketplace altogether. So you have the chain loop that has a tensioner. You have to have the tensioner on it. And word on the street within the industry is that within a year or so, that's probably going to go away. So then you only have cordless or motorization. So it's something to think about when you're buying your window coverings. Is it going to be supported later? That's important.
Yes.
And it is the sad part of it is it took away that entry level price point. But it's just things you have to think about when you're doing window coverings, and so that's why I always come to your house or I go to the business and I discuss the options, and then I put some things together with quotes. I usually go in a couple of visits. I don't try to do it all in one.
Right.
And
Awesome.
takes about 3 weeks once you place an order with me from order to install most of the time. So.
That's pretty good, really.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
And somebody else is installing that knows how to install them, because I've sat and it's like, how are we going to get this done? Yes.
My husband's a concrete guy, and we laugh because I had him put up some rods. It was our very first fight.
I would imagine there's a lot of fights.
So, just because you're in construction does not mean you're the finer part of that. And so, my rod was kind of half in the wall, half not, so to say. You had to get my guy come fix it.
That's funny. I love it. Oh,
that's why I don't install.
Right. Yeah. So you have a great installer, though. So
I do
helps.
really, and they do a great job, and they represent my company really well. I'm almost always on the job site when we install because I like to make sure it's done just the way I like it done.
You know what it needs to look like. You're just not the one doing the work.
Yeah. But I do like to be present. Once in a blue moon, I'll send them out without me because I have so many different things going on. But for the most part, I'm always on the job site.
And that's that customer service piece. They know you, the face-to-face. They don't know your installer face-to-face. So.
Oh, yeah, it can be annoying to them once in a while. A little to the right, please.
Yes, exactly.
Just another inch.
Just a little, right? Oh, a little bit more. That micromanaging homeowner. I don't know if that's really where I want it. Yes. Well, great discussion. I love it talking about your business, and congratulations on your 3 years coming up in July.
Thank you.
Big, huge milestone there for small businesses, but that's exciting. If you have any more questions or want to learn more about Perfect Shades, you can go to your website.
GetYourPerfectShade.com.
There you go. And I think the contact information is going to be in the comment box on this as well, so you can look for that there. And if you need a direct conversation, if you can't get in touch with Sheri, just let me know, because Here, you can call here at the Chamber office, and we will get you connected with Sheri as well. And don't miss what's next on Chamber Talk. We'll sit down with Chandler Shack, with owner of Hindsight VIP. And then in June, we'll chat with Art Matheson, CEO, and Jonathan Edwards, COO of Good Shepherd Healthcare System, to learn about their exciting investment in Boardman. That is coming up here pretty soon. So that, and you can always, reminder that you can always rewatch these episodes on the Boardman Chambers Commerce's YouTube channel, or it's on our social media. And today's Chamber Talk will be also shared on Perfect Shade's social. Do you have your social media?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you
now
do.
I have a guy handling for me to actually something happen.
Right? And you can find it on hers as well. And that being said, thank you guys for tuning in today. We had a great discussion and look forward to seeing you guys next time on Chamber Talk with Torrie. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.